They say the best things in life are free. That might be up for debate. But when it comes to beat 'em ups, this is absolutely true. Good day everyone, Equanimity here. I normally like to focus on giving credit to underappreciated characters. Today, I thought I'd talk about underappreciated video games. If any one of those sounds interesting to you, be sure to like and subscribe. Quick disclaimer, this list will be focusing on gameplay, overall polish, and features above all else. Also, this list's order is according to my personal preference. And in my opinion, if any one of these games existed in a vacuum, each one could easily be number one, depending on what your preferences are. I will be splitting this list up into two parts, as I will be going into a fair amount of detail, and I know your time is precious. With that out of the way, let's begin. Number 10. Final Fight Revival of Rage. The Final Fight series needs no introduction, but what it does need is a new game in the series. Sadly, it seems Capcom may be done with beat 'em ups altogether these days, and the best anyone can hope for is seeing characters like Cody and Guy make guest appearances in Street Fighter games. This is where Final Fight's Revival of Rage comes in, a beat 'em up made by passionate fans that tries to move the Final Fight story forward using characters from the Street Fighter Alpha series. Years after Mad Gear was defeated, Hager retired as mayor of Metro City, but it doesn't take long before the streets are overrun with crime thanks to corrupt politicians and mobsters. Zangief joins Cody and Guy in the main lineup to try and tackle these new threats. The game features sprites from the Street Fighter Alpha series, as well as customized enemy sprites that are unique to this release. Each character has their own skills, playstyles, and special moves, which is great. It also has beautifully detailed stages. Rivers run, streetlights flicker, and steam rises from sewers. Despite all this eye candy, after the first stage, players will quickly discover why this game is called Revival of Rage. Enemies are ruthless and will counter, swarm, and ambush you like there's no tomorrow. They can quickly drain your life and drink up your credits if you aren't careful. Health pickups are plenty, but far between. The player has no ability to block or dodge incoming attacks, and bosses are a mess in this game. Most can easily two-shot you, others have vacuum grabs and insane priority over your attacks, even over hyper moves. Sometimes they will strangely even help you in their own boss fights. The game requires mastery of its combat system, and in some cases, exploitation of its quirks to proceed. It's not for everybody. In fact, this game might be the hardest beat 'em up you'll ever play, but don't let that stop you from at least giving it a try. There are tons of Easter eggs, unlockable characters, and lots of fun to be had for those willing to put in the time and effort. And the experience is solid, even if it borders on being unfair at times. Number 9. Justice League Legacy. As of late, DC games seem to be able to do no wrong. But back in the day, this wasn't always the case. Justice League Legacy tries to right that wrong, with an absolutely insane character roster, tons of game modes, bonus stages, and some hidden extras. There's a lot to love about this game. You have a whopping 4 campaigns you can play through here, which tries to stay true to the storylines of the various DC animated shows it draws inspiration from. You also have the option to play all of them in their entirety with the CPU-controlled partner. Each character has their own unique moves and special attacks, and the game encourages experimentation by allowing you to switch characters in between levels without you needing to lose precious credits to do so. Levels have a verticality to them not commonly seen in beat 'em ups, which really adds to the sense of scale. What it lacks in complexity, it makes up for with the level of passion and polish that has been put into it. And unlike many games on this list, Z Vito, the creator of this project, continues to refine the game and add even more characters and features to this day. He also holds polls regularly on his channel for new characters to be added based on player requests and is very open to feedback. If you're looking for amazing 16-bit superhero action, you can do a lot worse than this soon-to-be future gem, if it isn't considered to be one already. Number 8. World Heroes Supreme Justice Extra. Chaos begins to erupt in the streets of cities and villages all across the globe. It's up to the world's best warriors to put an end to the civil unrest one country at a time. Featuring 11 characters to choose from and probably one of the most extensive combat systems you'll ever see in a beat-em-up, there's a lot to be excited about here. The game features a 4-button system, which includes dedicated punch and kick buttons, allowing an impressive degree of fluidity when it comes to combos. So for instance, you could start a combo with a punch and finish with an uppercut. Want to do a combo with just kicks? You can. 3 kicks and a punch? Why not? 2 punches and 2 kicks while sprinkling in special attacks? You get the idea. And did I mention the insane amount of special moves available? Take a look at this. Yeah, exactly. The game is also surprisingly well balanced. Because you are able to block, dodge, and even attack while dodging, combat feels tight and responsive. As a result, you won't find yourself being swarmed and juggled too often. But the AI will occasionally counter your attacks, and are smart enough to catch careless button mashers off guard fairly easily. So using the correct moves and paying attention to spacing is key. Another highlight of this game is its stages. Not only are they as gorgeous and as well animated as the characters, they also sometimes feature branching paths and can even kill you. Many times there will be stage hazards like spinning buzzsaws, mines, or even satellites hitting you with arcs of electricity, which add another layer of dynamicism to the gameplay, not often seen in beat-em-ups. Characters can also pummel enemies on the ground, which adds another layer of depth to the combat. Grappler class characters are well represented here, and have chain grapples that can be linked in impressive ways. In some cases, characters have up to 6 or even 8 different grapples, and even ground grapples are possible. Great graphics, addictive gameplay, and 3 different game modes. This truly is an amazing beat-em-up game, and without a doubt a high-quality project made by talented fans. I can't recommend it enough. Number 7. Double Dragon Reloaded Alternate. If you're a die-hard Double Dragon fan, chances are you have convinced yourself that the officially released Double Dragon 4 doesn't exist. Luckily, fans have come together to make a 4th Double Dragon game that's way more deserving of that title. Double Dragon Reloaded Alternate is essentially a combination of the first 2 Double Dragon games, with added DLC, if you will. With new characters to choose from, new weapons, and 5 game modes, this release is tailor-made for Double Dragon fans itching for more Double Dragon action. You can even play as the bosses too. The game includes all the standard special moves as well as some new ones, such as the ability to ground and pound and curb stomp your enemies. The changes made to the arcade classics are subtle yet very well implemented. So much so that it's really hard to recommend the original games after playing this one, as this version fixes all the issues that the older games had, refines the mechanics, and still somehow manages to make sure not to change the core formula too much, while also adding new content, giving you a game that feels fresh yet familiar. If you're a Double Dragon fan, there is no debate. This is a must-own game. Number 6. Fighters History Revenge. Fighters History Revenge is a game that's packed with so many shockingly good features. I'll try my best to talk about as many of them as I can. Despite having a 3-button layout, 1 button less than World Heroes Supreme Justice, it still somehow manages to have twice the amount of depth. As soon as you hit the character select screen, you'll be greeted with a lot more information than you're used to seeing in this type of game. Each of the 7 playable characters have their own bio, set of attributes, and special moves unique to them. And just like World Heroes Supreme Justice, you're free to fashion these moves into pretty much any combo you can think of. At first, you might think that because special moves aren't tied to an energy bar, that you can just spam your way through the entire game. But like World Heroes, the AI here, which I'll talk about more in just a second, can easily make quick work of button mashers and careless spammers in short order. You're also limited to a single credit to survive the entire game, so correct timing, move selection, proper defense and strategy is key. Where the game really starts to shine is when you notice that it contains light RPG elements. You can actually level up your character as you play. And you're able to build up a maximum attack gauge, which can be used for critical attacks that do devastating amounts of damage. You also have a good amount of defensive moves that you can use, such as blocking, a radial attack, and a quick step dodge. So the game gives you a really good tool set to stay on top of things. And trust me, you're gonna need it. As the AI in this game have access to all the same abilities that you do. They aren't too hard to manage in small numbers early on, but when things start picking up, you'll be surprised just how aggressive, tricky, and sneaky they will become. They won't miss an opportunity to taunt, swarm you, or use their own special moves and combos. Some can teleport, others will come charging in off screen to hit you with unblockable attacks, and stragglers might even go for health pickups to heal themselves if you aren't careful. Bosses will talk trash to you before and after fights. They hit incredibly hard and will frequently use hyper combos and unblockable attacks that can just about decimate your health bar and one-shot you. And some will even cheaply use zoning to potshot you while their cronies distract you. Gameplay here is fast, it's precise, it's chaotic, and above all, it's a lot of fun. With great graphics, awesome mechanics, character-specific endings, probably the best special moves you'll ever see in a beat 'em up, 5 game modes, and an additional 7 characters to unlock. All in all, this is a game that I feel shows just how good 2D beat 'em ups really could have gotten in the 90s had they stuck around for a few more years. Go and get it now, you won't be sorry. And there you have it, the first part of my top 10 OpenBor Beat 'em ups. What do you guys think? Please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a like and be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on part 2, which I will be releasing shortly. Most importantly, thank you for your time. I'll see you soon.